Welcome to Crushgasm, the podcast dedicated to the highs and lows of crushes. From their first to their worst, we're going to cover them all with a cascade of characters, including our guest today, your friendly neighborhood Miles Morales, Bryant C, a photographer, dog dad, cosplayer, and vlogger who is here to talk not only about his stunning looks and creative endeavors, but also a crush that spawned from the pages of a comic book, Wonder Woman. Bryant, how are you?
I am good. How about yourself, Kendra?
I'm doing good. I was on spring break. I work at a school and I was on spring break and I'm really sad and I'm going back tomorrow.
I'll say with my job, I had to work during both spring breaks because we had two of them. So I'm like, I got so confused as to which spring break was what, but it's all good.
Oh, 2 spring breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
All right.
It's like a thing in an MTV spring break, Girls Gone Wild. The 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to this crush. Your crush on Wonder Woman came after you were given a copy of a Superman comic in which she was featured. Who gave you that life-changing comic book?
It was an uncle of mine, and back then, I was just starting to get into to like comics and that kind of thing, and he basically said, "Hey, I figured you might want to start with Superman because he's a DC hero." And as I'm reading it, I'm looking, I'm going, who is this woman that is beautiful and everything along the way? And I read the name. It's like, oh, hi, I'm Wonder Woman. I'm just going, okay, I'm in love.
So was it a sort of birthday gift or just kind of a cool uncle?
Just a cool uncle, it was just a fun day. So he just decided to say, hey, let me, we out and about with the family so we can all get like gifts and everything. And we just, my eyes were just on comic books because I liked to read back then, and I still love to read. But I saw that and I was going, "Can I have this?" And they were like, "Yeah, you can have it."
So you're around 10 years old. You're just getting into comic books, but doing the math right, because I did snoop around your Instagram, you did have a birthday recently. So this is around 2002-ish when Spider-Man was about to drop, and comic book movies as we know it were going to become the most normal box office blockbuster. So did you sort of think, oh, thank God I'm getting into it now? So I don't look like poser later.
No, I was always into like nerdy things. So growing up, I always played like Pokemon and all that kind of stuff. But then getting into comics, it was like a life changing for me. So once I saw Wonder Woman and then hearing about Spider-Man, I was going, okay, this is more and more for me to bring out my true nerd side.
You get this comic book and you're reading it, and as you said, you see this beautiful woman. You're like, who is she? Wonder Woman. Was it her look, the plot? What about her in particular in this particular issue stood out and made a big impression on 10-year-old you?
I think it was the fact that, like, if I can remember comics correctly, Superman was getting attacked by somebody, and Wonder Woman came out of nowhere, and she used her gauntlets to like defend it was like a beam or something, and reflected it back at the villain. I'm just going, can I do that? I tried doing that with my own. I tried to put like aluminum foil around my wrist and thinking I can do that, but at the same time it didn't work. But this is all like, I was 10, so I didn't know. I myself, I thought I could get superpowers at that age, so that's where my mind just went with it.
I mean, who didn't watch those and think, well, if only if I go on a field trip and there's a spider, I'm gonna definitely wake up with those powers. I always thought when I got like special rings that I could be like Captain Planet.
Right?
I remember standing outside. It was so dorky, but I had this ring that had like a blue Triceratops or something. I don't know why. I thought, oh, let's mix Power Rangers with Captain Planet, and I was like trying to control the wind. So stupid, but I was like, yeah, I was out there. I remember that distinctively.
See, if I picked up a Pokemon, I was like, all right, where my Pokemon at? I'm finna go on the quest. All right, Mom, I'll see y'all in like never. But
Wow, you're ready to just give up your family for the Pokemon life? So around like 10 years old, we're not just impressionable of, our superpowers that we're never gonna get, but we're also starting to maybe go through our first change, puberty. So was Wonder Woman kind of like the first real woman you remember liking, other than like girls at school and stuff who were like,
oh, well, let's see. Yes, to Wonder Woman, and then once I think what was it, Cartoon Network, when they announced like Justice League, and then you start seeing Wonder Woman, and then I started seeing Hawkwoman, and I'm just going, how many more beautiful superheroes are are there? Superhero and are there? I'm just that I'm falling in love with. So you first started with Wonder Woman, and then you had Hawkwoman, and many more like Vixen, and then don't get me started with Marvel because whew, that's just all crazy right there.
You're like, can you draw them a little less
Yes, exactly.
gorgeous?
Exactly.
So, in doing this show for like a year now and being a fangirl myself, it's more than normal to get a crush and then take a turn towards like obsession.
Hmm.
Now, after reading the comic, did you then like go track down the original series with Linda Carter, or did your crush remain like more comic book based?
It was everywhere. So it was basically trying to figure out Linda Carter. I was trying to find old episodes of Wonder Woman along with like finding out about the new Wonder Woman, in this series and whatnot. So I was just trying to see what all I can get from it.
And what about those recent movies? Because I will admit, I love the first one. I thought the first one was like the best DC had done in a long
Mm-hmm.
time. But
Mm-hmm.
that second one,
Girl, let me tell you, that
it
second
was
one,
some choices.
it, yeah, I had some words for that. But I mean, Gal Gadot, she's good. She's a great actress as Wonder Woman, and then we see Linda Carter and everything towards the end. But at the same time, I feel like they could have done better on Cheetah. What was it, Kristen? It was Kristen Wiig, if I'm not mistaken. Like they could have done better on her outfit. And
Pedro Pascal.
yes, I mean they could have done a little bit better. I understand, but at the same time, the move I was lost in some parts of the movie. I'm just going, what's going on here?
It was just a weird, like you did so much with the first one, again, so good. And then the second one, kind of like they had all these ideas and they threw them at like a dartboard, and whatever stuck there, like, we're rolling with that.
Exactly.
It made no sense. And it was such a lot. I love Kristen Wiig, so it was such a loss to see her like big blockbuster moment kind of go.
Exactly, right. But you never know. They might do it. They might do another one where she comes in because I know anything they gonna probably do like the Legion of Doom coming out of nowhere, and she gonna come in and then get all the other villains as well to do their part on it.
Well, I hope it works out better a third time. Third time's a charm, because the second one, it was like the middle child, which I am, so I understand.
I mean, with the new DC movies like Black Adam and what is it, like all the new ones coming out, and we see Hawkman. More likely, if we see Hawkwoman in that movie, that would be great.
Is that like a Shazam type thing?
It is, yes, it was Shazam because we saw Zachary Levi as Shazam, but then Black Adam, this is Dwayne Johnson's like debut as Black Adam, which is really cool.
I'm looking forward to it. I always like him in movies. He really doesn't disappoint. He reminds me of old school 90s kids movie actor.
Right.
Except like he's a giant human being. So as a comic book reader, what do you think are the most important aspects when it comes to taking a character from the comic book and putting them in a movie?
Well, you basically want to make sure that you are accurate with the comic book. Like with all these comics, we see certain things in there, but then when we watch the movie, go, that wasn't in the comic, and you just question yourself, like, is this gonna be in a new comic that we don't know about, or is it just something they just decided to change themselves?
And how important do you think is like casting? Because I know there are some where you kind of like hear about it and you're like, oh, they lost the role to this person, and you think, oh, I wonder if it would have been better or worse. So what do you think about the casting of these roles? Have they gotten them all right, or is there someone you would have swapped out?
I would say they're actually pretty accurate on all the comic book characters. Let's see. There's one, I cannot remember the name of it. It's like right after this, it's like it's gonna dawn on me, and I'm a message you like, oh, it's this person. But it's like certain characters, you go, okay, this makes a lot of sense, and why would you? This is perfect person for casting that. Like, for instance, you had like Idris Elba playing Heimdall and Loki, and everybody was like, oh no, he can't be Heimdall because in the comics he's white. But in the movies, he's black, and everybody once you see, you just go, you know what? Maybe I should change my thought process on this for like the movies and for like comic books.
Yeah, people get really worked up when you change like the race of a character, which I think if the race didn't matter to the character, who cares? Like I could see if like a white guy walked into Black Panther's role, it'd be like, well, no. Like when it's like Superman, I know Superman gets a lot of slack. Like when you hear, oh, Michael B. Jordan might be the next Superman, it's like, well, he's an alien. Who knows what race he could have been, you know?
Exactly.
Being that you do Miles Morales, who do you think would be the perfect live action Miles?
Myself. I mean, I could be the older version, but no. I mean, we did deal with the multiverse, so there is that. I could be an older version of Miles.
Well, there you go,
but
Marvel.
I would say, let's see. There. Do you watch Stranger Things?
Yes.
Okay, so Caleb, the actor who plays Caleb, he will be a good person to play Miles Morales.
If they get him now, I mean, Stranger Things has taken 17 years to film. Now they look like they're in their 40s when they're coming back for season 4. I'm like, how? Like, did you see the trailer? I was like, 11 and Will are walking around looking like college students, and I think they're only supposed to be in 9th grade.
That is true. But then again, hold on. But then again, you gotta remember, when we first saw Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, he was like 20-something, who was that? Like an 18-year-old in high school. So you never know. Just like they say, the same goes for us. Black don't crack. So
it's true. I mean, Caleb does still look, they all look phenomenal, but I'm just like, you guys look like college co-eds, not 9th grade, 10th grade, wherever they're supposed to be now. And I know like the pandemic pushed season 4, but still, Netflix did take a long time with Stranger Things.
They did. Yes, they did. What about you? Who do you think will be a good person for Miles?
The kid who plays plays Jack in Blackish, who's probably like 16, 17 in real life right now, but he's still he's a tiny person.
He is good too.
And I think he would just be really fun. He's just got a lot of charisma. I love Blackish. I love him in that. Even the older brother in Blackish, maybe. Just because.
Oh yes.
The Blackish cast.
I love him. I love him. I mean, just watching that show, it's phenomenal. I'm sad to see it go, but at the same time, I love all that. I love it so much.
Yeah, I was just catching up. I always get really sad when I watch a show for a long time and then it's gonna end. So I've been like not like keeping up with it, but I just watched a couple last night and I'm gonna slowly get to it. So when it ends, I'll be able to watch and cry.
Nice.
I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, I still haven't watched the Modern Family series finale because it aired like right kind of like a month into the pandemic in 2020, and I was like, this is just too much to handle. I don't know. Every night I'm like, should I put it on? And I'm like, I don't want to go to bed really sad, so I haven't watched it yet. But,
I hear you so much.
But back to Wonder Woman. It's interesting you say like Wonder Woman is your number one because she is like this fictional character, this idea. So that's interesting because then you have people that love the idea of something. So do you think it's like the idea of what she represents is what you love most too?
Yes. She shows women that, you don't always need a guy to protect you. You're your own superhero and you are amazing in your own way.
All right, Brian, come with the Spice Girl power. Zig zig ah. You said Wonder Woman's number one, and you mentioned some women from like Hawk, from like DC, Marvel. You didn't want to get into, but do you have, if off the top of your head, a top 5 comic book women crush list?
Number 1, of course, will be Hawk. It will be Wonder Woman. Number 2, it would be Black Widow. Number 3 would be Hawkwoman. 4 would be Spider-Woman. And then 5, it would have to be, okay, don't get on me, but it has to be Aunt May. Like, it has to be like the young Aunt May.
I was saying, I mean, she's had so many different variations.
Exactly.
But the Marissa Tomei, then we all understand.
Yep.
Even though Marissa Tomei herself is like actually a lot older than she looks, and it's wild.
Girl, who you kidding? I'm just like, okay then, I see you.
So out of like all these comic book females we haven't seen on the big screen, who are you like put her in a movie right now?
That's a good question. Oh, Spider-Woman, of course, we gotta see her, and we also have to see Gwen Stacy. Even though, I mean, like, even though we saw her in like Into the Spider-Verse, we want to see her like live action us Gwen Stacy. You know, we want to see what she actually. Who would you cast as Gwen?
The young lady who, God, she was like I don't know, she might be too little. Maybe by the time they do it, she'll be a little older. Or the girl who played the new Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, her. Okay. Well, I was thinking. Well, she is good. Well, or possibly the person who actually voiced her in Into the Spider-Verse,
Haley.
but she was in Hawkeye. So
Yeah.
that's a well, of course, you know. Well, actually, certain characters or actors and actresses have played two characters in the Marvel universe. So
They just gotta have like some years between them so you can't
Ex-
forget.
exactly, yes.
Yeah, her or there's another young girl who I think like as she gets older is gonna get more and more roles. I think she might have played the younger Sabrina in the new one, like younger version of the other girl, but she was the little sister in the new Ghostbusters. She's just always killing it. But I
Oh,
think
I
as
know
she
you.
gets old,
I know you talking about. She is hilarious.
I just think she's just like a kid you see and you're like, that kid's going places.
She really is.
As always, we're going to cap off this section with our imaginations. And if you and Wonder Woman could live happily ever after together in the pages of a comic book, what would your lives be like in print?
Well, I will basically, if we will have to have an island that's close to her home island, and that way, if she needed to go back over there, she could, go over there, help out with anything. I wouldn't be able to visit because, it's an all-woman island. But I can say, hey, I can call you. If you need me, I'll be like on the shore somewhere, and then just like if you need me to go over to like to the city or something, I can do that too. But we would just make sure everything is wonderful between us, making sure our kids are having fun, making sure they practice on their superpowers and so much more.
What superpowers would you, if you had like 3 kids, what superpowers would you want them to have to be able to like handle their own?
Well, I would love for one of them to be a girl, so that way she can go with her mom to train and everything, and she becomes the next Wonder Woman, of course. If we had, when we have a son, we want him to make sure he can fly, have, somewhat similar to Batman. I mean, not Batman, sorry, Superman. But but also
like
he's
Batman don't have no powers.
be like the son will be able to fly and everything from the way. He can also have like super strength, that kind of thing.
Those are good things. I always wanted to be able to do like the fly, something that like just got me from point A to point B. I do like the idea of like being able to read people's thoughts, but then again, I would probably get hurt too easily. So I'm not emotionally prepared to do that. I would love to. So now it's time to talk more about what you have going on. I do want to know, have you ever cosplayed your own version of Wonder Woman?
I have not. That should be something I should do. I should add that to my cosplay list. But I have not done it actually.
Well, get on it. I've seen so many good like gender bent cosplays. Those are always some of my favorite when I go to conventions because they're unexpected. They're a new take on it. I just did like a Hunger Games list to celebrate the like 10th anniversary, and there was this really cool Effie. This man did like a suit with all the butterflies. I thought it was really
cool. Oh, cool. I can see that.
It'll be out probably March 23rd. I think that's the 10-year anniversary of when it hit theaters. So
let's
Cosplay
go.
Central, check it out.
I'm always on there.
Thank you. So I do want to know, since we're talking about cosplay, what got you into cosplay?
Well, it was about 6 years ago, give or take, and I always keep seeing so many people, in their cosplay outfits and everything from away, and I told myself, I said, one day I'm just gonna go into cosplay and do it and have fun with it. And one of my old roommates said, hey, how about I help you out with that? And sure enough, they did. And once I got into it, I just fell in love. And from that day on, I done various Spider-Man cosplays, as most people here in Texas know me as, your fellow neighborhood Spidey.
And when did you start doing the like infamous Miles Morales look?
When they announced the Into the Spider Verse movie, it was just the moment I saw that outfit, I just went, I need that. I need that suit. I need to do the part for this, you know, and I want to bring this to life.
Now, I just wrote a piece about what makes Miles Morales unique, and I'd love to hear why you're particularly interested in him.
Well, Miles Morales, he is unique in his own ways. You know, we see a lot of white superheroes, but the moment we see Miles Morales, who is black and Puerto Rican, you just go, that can be me. You know, he is out there. He's not afraid to be himself. You know, he likes to be who he is, and that's what I love about him. And you know, the fact that he also loves his friends and family means so much to me as well.
I love that you said that could be me because I remember seeing Stan Lee talk about like the creation of Spider-Man, and he like fought for him to have the mask because he wanted kids to be able to look at the Spider-Man and say like that could be anyone, that could be a man, that could be a woman, that could be black,
Mm-hmm.
white, you know. So that's why I really like Spider-Man for that reason because like you
Mm-hmm.
said, there's a lot of white superheroes and we don't see a lot of representation
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the times unless you dig deep into the caverns.
Oh yes, that is true.
But on the big screen we're like where's more, but I think they're doing a really good job of getting more and more in the Marvel universe. At least DC could open it up a little bit more because we don't need, I mean, Batman, you know, another one, another and another, but
I know,
that's
right? We get so many Batmans. I mean, like where is the others? You know, where I know we see Hawkman and everything. I mean, Aquaman and everything. But where's like Green Lantern? Where is that movie at? Where are we gonna see Green Lantern? Not Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern, but a good John Stewart Green Lantern movie.
you know, they need to just branch out, do a little bit more, stop
Mm-hmm.
focusing on the certain ones. Or if they're gonna do Batman, just make it all about villains. Like that Gotham show was great because I
Yes.
mean Batman, his villains always outshine him to me.
Mm,
So you also vlog. You do a variety of things on your vlog. You do Funko Pops
mm,
and you do real news. I do want to talk about the Funko Pops. Do you think
mm.
one day we'll forget about them, or is this a collectible that'll last to fans? Like a Barbie. Like, will they be like Barbie?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Or
like Barbie. It's like it's right now. It is crazy just to try to get certain Funko Pops for yourself. Like for me, I have a vast majority of Spider-Man pops, and it's just hard trying to get other ones because of the price value on them. And you know, trying to get those, it's gonna cost like an arm and a leg.
are you someone that keeps them in the box?
I'm both. I keep them in the box and out the box.
Oh, do you get like two for that reason, or you just some are just like not as collectible, so you're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
you
get
can come out.
I get some. I get one in the box, one out the box.
I mean, Funko Pops aside, you also get real on your vlogs and you talk about some real life issues and news stories. I think being Black in America, it's hard not to speak out about things. So,
Yes.
do you feel that airing your grievances with things like questionable verdicts and whatnot helps ease the pain of the constant battery Black Americans seem to take daily?
Yes and no. It gives me the chance to voice my opinion, and you know, like you said, and you know, I enjoy it. However, the outcome from it, you never know what could happen. You know, there's sometimes like in the comic section, I get people saying, "Oh, you know, you don't know what you're talking about, blah blah blah. You piece of POS," and I'm just going, I kind of do know what I'm talking about. I'm a one man band, and I've been going through and through all these pages trying to figure out what is going on and letting people know about that information. And it hurts, as for both of us being African American, it hurts because we think people go, oh yeah, everything is perfect, perfect for you guys. It ain't perfect. It really is not perfect for us. We can walk down the street and someone gives us a weird look thinking we're going to do something to them when all we're doing is just walking down the street or walking on the sidewalk.
We were, like 2020 had like George Floyd and everything. You had
Mhm.
Kyle Rittenhouse, but
Yes, I hear
you
you.
that we were gonna move to Virginia, and I was really nervous. My
Mhm.
dad's I'm mixed. I'm Spanish and white, or Spanish and black, and my dad's black. When he was like, "Are there any, black people where you're going?" And like, he was very nervous for me to come here, and I was like, "Oh, it's a college town. There's like a lot of diversity." Da, da, da. But every time I talk to him, he's like, "You see any black people?" Like, yes, Dad, seen black people. He's like, "Any? They messing with you?" I'm like, "No, nobody's really mean. It's pretty like low key here. There are like a lot of like Trump stickers and stuff and MAGA flags, and it makes, and even when I see an American flag, I'm just like tense up now because you don't know, are they patriotic or are they insane?"
Yeah, like I live in Texas, and let me tell you, whoo, it's just so much out here.
We drove from California to Virginia when we moved, and we only had to go through that tippity top of Texas. And I had like a Bernie Sanders air freshener in the car. I took that down before we left. I was like, they're gonna try to stop us. I was like, they can't. No, I was so scared because we have California license plates.
I get you.
Yeah, Texas, your state made me the most nervous on our trip.
Girl, let me tell you.
Ironically, we had to stop. I had to pee in Amarillo, and nicest people.
Oh, yeah, Amarillo's perfect. If you ever go to Amarillo, if you ever have to come back out here, there's a location called the Palo Duro Canyon. You will want to go visit. You should go visit. It's almost like the Grand Canyon, but like a smaller version of it.
I was so nervous to stop there. And once you leave California, it was like COVID didn't exist. There wasn't a lot of masks going on, but Texas had the most masks that I saw. And the worst people, New Mexico.
Yeah, I still have yet to go to California, but if I do, I'm still gonna be wearing a mask, and people gonna be like, "No, you cool, it's fine." Like, you say that, but you don't know that COVID is still around here. So people just gotta figure this thing out.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing. We went to our first convention since the pandemic up in Connecticut, and you had to show proof of vaccine or you had to show a negative test, and it really wasn't that packed. So it was the first time in a public setting we both were like, okay, let's take off our masks for a while. It felt so surreal to see people's faces, have them see ours. I was like, oh my God. But we came back okay. So I do want to switch gears and talk about your photography for a bit. What's like your favorite subject matter to get pictures of?
I would say just street photography. That would be great for me. I basically just love seeing everything unique with everything that goes out there. You never know what you can see out there, whether it be like a balloon in the street or something, or like a perfect couple, hugging, that kind of thing.
Oh, so you like the candids?
Yeah, I like candids. Candids. I'm like candids. Street photography, nature photography, that kind of thing.
So you just like to snap in the moment.
Basically.
So before we wrap things up, I do want to do a quick speed round about comics and cosplay. The comic book character that offers the most variety in cosplay looks.
Spider-Man.
I would say like Spider-Man, Harley Quinn, Joker,
Batman.
God, Batman. Batman's most popular, the cons I've been to, but yeah, when anything Joker, Harley Quinn drops, me and my husband or my friend that I would go to cons with in California, we're like, how many Harley Quinns we're gonna see today?
That's a bingo right there. I think I got this Haley, I got this one. All right, cool, bingo, I win.
Who do you think is the most overplayed comic book character that people cosplay?
Batman, Harley Quinn, Superman.
A comic book character that deserves to be cosplayed a hell of a lot more.
Squirrel Girl.
I think I've seen maybe one or two.
Exactly.
A comic book character with a look that's not the greatest for cosplayers to do. Like it's hard or just doesn't come through as well.
I'm gonna say Robin. Yeah, Robin. I don't see it as much.
Your favorite comic book character cosplay that you've seen someone else do?
That would be Spider-Man, of course. To see.
Like all Spider-Man all day, don't matter. Yeah, I've seen you've done like a Captain America version.
Yes, but I have an updated one coming pretty soon, so keep a lookout for that.
How long do you buy these? Do you make them, your looks?
So I buy the pattern from like various people, and I send the pattern to a company overseas, and what they do is they sew it up for me after I give them my height requirements and everything. And sure enough, I get them, and then I display them.
So it's kind of like, it reminds me of RuPaul's Drag Race, because they like have all these outfit ideas, but then you have to like get
Mhm.
them made. It's like, it's all
Mhm.
art, it's all creative.
That's how it is.
So can you tell us what you have like going on this summer? Like, are you gonna get back into the conventions, going out?
Yes, I will be going to one of our conventions. It got moved from like October to the summer. It's Fan Expo in Dallas. I'm going to that one. Hopefully working on bringing out some new cosplays this year. Going to try to go like to different states for another con. I mean, I went to the last out of state con I went to was New York Comic Con, and that was 2019. So if possible, I could try to go to one this year, New York Comic Con possibly, or maybe Home at in Florida, just to see where what the all the fun is out there.
And finally, can you tell people where they can find you online?
Well, you can find me on Instagram and also on Twitter using the same handle, DJ Luffy Sticks. You can find me on YouTube. Just search for my name, Bryant Collins. Snapchat, if you want Snapchat, my Snapchat on my videos on YouTube. So if you watch it all the way through, you can see it towards the end. And then on Facebook, I have like my own page. It's Mr. Bryant Collins, but it's combined. The Bryant Collins is all one word.
All right, Brent. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about your wonderful comic book crush. And everyone, you can find all of Brian's information below. And until next time, as always, keep crushing it.